Hi friends, I'm Colonel Failure, and this is the bridge that I was trying to build last time that I have actually now built this time, because it's built now. And it turned out that I was just making life needlessly complicated for myself. Just make it a bit taller and everything works out fine. Anyway, let's have a quick peruse of the situation. As you can see, here's Bumson, Bumsoning along there nicely with a full load. Excellent work. Now, since you were around last time, I have spent a little while rattling through most of 1934 in order to get us... No, I beg your pardon. Yes, no, 33. It's only just 1934. I'm confused. Yes, getting us to the point where I've actually got a bit of cash back, so I've got $5.5 million in the bank. We're going to hook these two lines together and spend some money on some new trains. Stick around. Of course, as intros go, that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you didn't watch the last episode. So I suggest you... Well, actually, I recommend you don't watch the last episode. I spend the entire time faffing around trying to make a bridge. But here comes Chasse Contraband, and as you can see, we've got a whole slew of passengers waiting to be picked up, and he's got the best part of a full load on board already. So the best part is not quite full, which is a little bit disappointing. But it's certainly enough to keep him profitable. Thank you. And profitable is, well, it's absolutely where we want to be. So this new top end of town station, we haven't got any AI builds going on yet, but it is still quite new. Now the trick is going to be timing this to merge the contraband route here, which, just to recap for my own benefit as much as anything else, heads up to the Citadel, and then Bumson, which heads down the way here, and it wends its way majestically around to Elmore. Once we've got those two hooked together, we'll make both these trains exactly the same consist, and fling them up and down, merrily. It's just a question of when we pull the trigger on that. Now, for some reason, I have put electrification on there, and it's unlike me to do that accidentally when I haven't yet used electrification this series. I suspect what I was thinking, wrongly, was that I would... yeah, you see, I'm cancelling that now. I also want high speed. There we are. We'll pay for the high speed now. I don't doubt that at some point I'm going to be sticking electrification back on this, but not today. We are in the age of steam, and therefore... these electrical doodads can do one. Right, let's gently flipping mountainous nonsense all over the shop. Are we about there? No, still going. Oh, hold on. Where are you off to next? Oh, okay. Well, the next project is kind of speaking for itself in that we can work our way all the way to Caprica. That said... was that not the original scheme that you had, given that there are currently... It doesn't look like you've actually got a train on Caprica. No, you must have a train on Caprica, otherwise you wouldn't have passengers waiting. Oh, it's flipping contraband, isn't it? Contraband goes all the way to Caprica. Yeah, I remember what I was doing now. It's an awfully long time since I did this, and I've been to Berlin since then. So, right, okay, yeah, I've got it. I know what I'm doing. Right. Is it a four-stopper now? 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then Elmore. No, can't be Elmore. Well, it can be. You're possibly just looking the wrong way. No, I was looking at Townsville, and I meant to look at Toontown. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a good route, and 2 trains are not enough to operate on it. No, we're going to want to... Well, 4 towns, typically 4 trains. But we don't have 4 trains, and I don't have the capital with which to procure 4 trains. So we're going to try and go with 2. Now, I'm going to put in a bit of speculative double track here, but I don't want to waste money ever at all on anything. Wasting money is the devil at work with your hands that are idle. So we definitely don't want to be doing any of that. Should we have semaphores, or should we go with electrics? Well, thus far in this series, you have barely you've barely done anything to warrant having signals. So let's use semaphores while they're still allowed, and then it gives you a justification for placing something else later on. Now, if I'm starting out with 2 trains, only on this route, then the only time I'm going to need any kind of signalling at all is for passing purposes. The challenge is going to be getting that in the right place. I don't know, get it on the right tool. There you go, and then do that. Yeah, someone in the comments is going to suggest that, you know, I'm a right tool. Right, okay, that's viable. You didn't actually place a signal though, did you? There you go, signal placed. Right, so what do? Do we adapt the existing route and then transfer the other train onto it? Yes, we do. Okay, right, and in that case, you become a Gen 2. Now, I don't know what the rules are exactly for Gen 2, but I'm making those rules now. And that rule is, once we evolve a route beyond its humble beginnings, it becomes a Generation 2 route. And that's that. So let's just... yeah, let's kill all the stations. We're going to confuse the heck out of the train. We go from Elmore. We're away. Out to... the next one, which is Toontown. Yes. Do you have both sides of station connection? Yes, you do. Right, and then we go up yonder hillside, over to the Citadel, like that. This is actually quite a nice route. I don't think it's necessarily the most scenic. I mean, it will take in some good hillside behaviour, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be totally glamorous. Right, I possibly need to double track at the station there, because it's about where the two trains are going to overlap, and obviously they've got kind of what's the word I'm after here? Spacing. Default spacing is already a thing. Is that enough? Have you done there? Citadel, Toontown, Elmore. Yeah, Elmore, Toon, sit, cap, sit, there. Right. So you are now, well, let's put all of them on there, and then we'll figure out a more convincing naming convention later. So next we need to track down yonder Bumson that is doing Elmo to Toon, and we're going to stick it on a new track, which is perilous. It is 74 years old. That's quite old. There you go. Get used to it. Right, Toon Elmo, you are now bulldozed. That's that done. And then we're going to want to replace these trains. And we're going to want to do that in such a way that I can actually afford to do it. So we want relatively quick with a capacity of at least 64. And in doing so, we shall... right, okay. What about a Zephyr? 10 million quid to you, Gov. Yeah.
Zephyr provides a suite of tools to optimize speed and quality of software testing,
okay,
empowering you with the flexibility, visibility, and insights you need to achieve continuous testing agility.
Anything else? No? Good. That was the Google Assistant there, having a rare old time. She only pays attention occasionally, and then when she does, she offers a tidbit of information that we should all cherish. Right, 52 passenger capacity isn't going to do it, but if I were to have like 5 of these on here, it rattles along at a fair old rate. But I don't think it's suitable for this. So we're going to go back to yonder Steam. Now I did see a couple of Great Westerns just unlock. They do 60, 2.8 million each. That's not cheap. I forget what I'm actually running on there at the moment. Aren't I running the Pacific or similar? I think I am running a Pacific or similar on there at the moment, and that's, I mean, the Pacific, you get good bang for buck on a 2.47. I've opened up all of these nice Austrian locos. I think I've got some of the Austrian rolling stock as well, but we'll see in due course. Now, the Bulldog is probably not going to cope so well with the hill, so I shouldn't even look at it. This, however, might. That's 2.6, 1.4. Stop debating, pick a train. Oh, well, no, not Scotsman. Scotsman's not suited to this. you're going to want, you know, something weller grunty with some get up and go about it. I think, actually, the UK's first and only 282 wheelbase tank engine, based on the 4200 class coal bunker and details. 54 were built. That's excellent to know. But 60 miles an hour limit that gives us options. And as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of Great Western coaches going on here, and they do 60. You would think that they were made to go together, wouldn't you? Probably because they were. So you're looking at, I don't know, 5 million a train, something like that. Well, I don't have that kind of money. I guess the cash-in price is going to become important, and that's a problem, because we're not going to be able to do them both. What's a class 9000? No, class 9000 is way too expensive. Right, have one of those. There you go. Sit yourself on the replacement docket there, and I don't know, what do we got? Have you got a cheap one? These do 95. It only has 9 passengers. This has 18 passengers, 1.14 million, versus the non-corridor, which is 832 grand. Well, that's that sorted then. Right. 12 versus 22. 2 of these will cost me 900 grand. All right, well, we'll go with 1, 2, 3. That's 66 passengers, and then we'll stick a brake van on there as well, with the brake at the, what I'm assuming that means rear. So we'll do that. 5.78 million per vehicle. Actually, I'm not too far off that. Replace now. You have to pay 7.98 million. I can afford that. And there we go. Yes. Do it quickly before someone says, oh, no, I'm sorry, you've got to pay your monthly residues. Right. Okay, now, if I can get that replaced, I think there's a reasonable chance we make some dosh. So I'm just going to advance time a smidge here and get these replacements done. Where are you? Bomson's waiting. Okay, well, look, this is beneficial, bizarrely, because it gives us an indication of whether I've got the kind of the overtaking corridor in the right place. I'm like 1,000% certain that I haven't, and also that we'll prove nothing until Bumson gets itself replaced. So while we wait for that, let's go follow our stablemate here, and Bumson, go sit over there. We're going to follow Chasse along for a bit. 78 on board, aboard, maybe, and we roll in. We roll in faster than I can actually keep pace with the Colonel can there, and that's good. Now the track limit on old style track is 75. So yeah. So how are we doing 72? I thought the loco limit was 70. No, not even. It was 60. No, that was how many passengers you had on board. You total Burke. All right. Okay. Thank you. Total Burke. Reporting in. Yeah. 60 miles an hour is our limit. 78 is the capacity. Let's ride this one up the hill, because Bumson's going to take a little while to arrive at its destination, and I don't want to get distracted with anything else. I want to stay task focused until we've done the switch over, and then I can be as distracted as I like. Now, eventually, this is going to have to be double-tracked, possibly even more than that. Double-tracking is only the first stage. My hope is that once I've got, money rolling galore, we'll be able to have some really quite, luxurious and extensive connections. Now, here we come up on the problematic bridge. We do have a bit of an incline before getting to the bridge. So I think if money were no object, I'd delete back a little to try and smooth this out. But everything comes down to, well, how does it feel to ride it? And then we've got another dip before then going uphill, and I'd hope to actually mitigate that. So that can be smoothed out as well. And you don't spot these things until you ride it. I mean, obviously, when it's a severe incident, you'll clock it quite well. But in this case, not so much. Right, well, passengers they've certainly got with the program insofar as they know what they want to ride and where they want to ride it and so forth. But yeah, and here they all come, you know, spewing out from the station, which is a charming way of phrasing it. Where put for, they perform the conga all the way to the bus stop. Although some of them do not. They have split into two so that we cannot target them adequately. And we're about to bump into the signal here because... no, that's Chasse. I don't know where Bumson's got to. Oh, he's down here, look. Flaming big screens. Right, so Spock's on his way to the Citadel. Chasse is on his way to a very lengthy wait. Spockus, how we doing? Going to a tunnel, Gov. Alright, well, we'll come with you. I don't see why not. Heading for the Citadel. Okay, right, well, I'll tell you what, this station, when I upgrade it to run out the tunnel at the other end, that's gonna be quite nice. And I think, as is becoming something of a motif this series, there is a second street connection that is basically a diving board off the edge of a ravine, which is charming. Right, upgrade me. There you go, that felt like the upgrade just occurred. Right. Alright, now things are occurring. I say things are occurring, and now the train is moving. If I were to extend the double track to the other side of this bridge, I wonder if that would do it. Now, right now, the two trains are far too close together, and obviously, relatively soon, we're going to be adding more trains onto this service. It was 5.78 for one. It was 5.78 for one. So as soon as I've got another 6 million quid in the bank, which actually at the moment it's not going to take that long. As soon as I have that, hazmat, yes. As soon as I have that, then we'll make that replacement. Because that can only lead to good things. Meanwhile, I've just saddled myself with having to make a tunnel. Right. Well, it's not going to be that much, is it? You know, we're not. It's not like we're boring a new hole or anything. It's the heavy lifting has already been done. Right. Let's get the high speed on here. Cease tootling your whistle. There, whistle tooter. In addition, you should not both be on the same line, because there's nowhere for you to actually overtake each other at the moment, so you're going to come unstuck. I wonder if it's the... You know, the stations have kind of inferred signals at the platform end, but even so, it shouldn't have let it through. I might be just imagining it. Maybe it's just got carried away, what with me building track, and it's got an idea of, oh, he's going to fix that by the time it matters. Oh, I might not, though. Right, upgrade along the way. You realise this is your third train budget that you're blowing here. Yeah, might well be. No, there is no. It's not might well be. You are blowing the budget. Yeah, that's fine. Just save up a bit longer, mate. You know, a couple of ships come in, everything's peachy. Right, get rid of that, and then just hook these two up together. Now, we don't need any more signals than this at present, or do we? No, we don't need any more. Hold on, I've foxed something. I wonder if... oh, there's a shocker. You can't connect all the stations. Yes, you can. Citadel 1? What are you talking about? You've still got a connection to Citadel 1, except I suspect you now want to go to Citadel... What? Citadels 3 and 5. Now, forgive the question, but where's 1 and 2? Or is that... No, that's stop numbers, you marvellous wonder of an individual. Right, Bunsen and Contraband are now facing off against one another. Well, you're on the wrong side of the platform there. Who are you? All right, you're there. Turn around. Clear off. Now, hopefully it will clear off, and then everything will be glorious. It will be graw. Everything will be graw if that one clears off. It does appear to be clearing off. You are currently at Elmore. There you go. So, yeah, it is definitely the implied signal that has been holding stuff. Is why it let those things through. Interesting. Now, normally I would build immediately using double track when I'm running multiple trains on there, because there's no sense in holding back from that. But given that I am cash limited quite heavily in this series, and I am somewhat watching how I spend the money, I know you wouldn't believe it to look at it, but it's a thing. Then I'm going to bump into this again when I do more route extension. And that's going to be interesting. Right, I can close that. Chasse isn't carrying an awful lot. Bumson's got 48, though. That's all right. And where are we up to? Neither of these two trains really pushing the envelope vis-a-vis their top speed. But that's okay, too. Better trains will exist in the future. I mean, you say better. More powerful, there you go. More powerful locomotion will be at our disposal in the future. It is not at our disposal presently. In the future it will be at our disposal, though. Yes, definitely in the future. And while I'm here, what have we got there? That is Beauclair Central, where Beauclair to Erie has got plenty of things waiting. And then over here, what do we got here? It's Mos Eisley Central, so obviously this is supplying Caprica Sherma. Now, I spoke when we started setting this up about running the line straight through to get to Mos Eisley and Sherma and everything else that's potentially aligned there. But I think we've got a way to go before we can even contemplate spending that kind of cash. Yeah, that's a hill. But look at the torque of the old tram there. 14, 13 miles per hour. Uphill, no, 12 miles per hour. It can make it. You just have to ask some of the passengers to get off and give it a push. And then everything's fine. Right, you are now heading out to Toontown with 71 on board. I think that the chances for an increase in profitability are quite strong. The only issue, and actually this is a good test case for it, is in whether doing 60 miles per hour is anything like enough. The hills are playing absolute havoc with my ability to generate a solid income. And to be fair, that wasn't what I really set out to demonstrate with this series. It wasn't see how I conquer all of the hills and make money despite the adverse terrain conditions. No, the original plan was see how I route all of these goods from various islands and bring them to places. Well, you get what you get. Right, over there I see something. Ironforge has got 85 passengers waiting. That's not insignificant. Waiting for whom? The Bingo Hazmat is the train in question, and actually that has been upgraded reasonably recently. Then the other end, plenty of passengers there as well. So if I look at Arkham Ironforge here and then ask myself, how do I now get that to here? Well, it's quite straightforward. You run Toontown to Townsville, looping round onto Asgard, and then heading into Ironfrog. Yeah. We do seem to have... Oh, hello. Right. Okay, next project reveals itself unto me. Our next project is obviously going to be forming the connection from Erie to Ironforge via Asgard, where currently we're operating with 2 stations and we only want to use 1. It's another pricey one, though. This is obviously the station to build off, and then we remove that. Or do we? That's an interesting thought. It might be an interesting thought, man, but you're talking about a monstrous amount of money to make that work. That is going to be quite expensive. And I think quite expensive is where it's at. So maybe the next leg, all we're going to do now is I'm just going to look at what the next leg is probably going to be, Then we'll have a quick look at the money, and then we'll get out of here. Toontown, Zion. What's your passenger situation at the moment? Zion's a Rapture. Okay, all right. Well, how do we make that work then? Well, you take a branch off here before the AI builds everything in there, and then you wind your way over here. You don't go into the guts of Zion. You stay topside. It's only one street to bulldoze there. Oh, I do like this single track approach though. Well, you can keep it. You don't have to get rid of it. You get rid of this road and that station. You change it for a two-way station that you have single track to go through these houses because it's glorious. Build the new station around here before winding it back to Toontown. Tricky, but I think that's actually quite an easy one. And then, of course, you get a free connection down to Rapture from that as well, which makes the Rapture line work a little bit better. Now, do you then... Ooh, interesting. Do you then continue that route all the way up to Caprica? So you go Caprica, Citadel, Toontown, Zion to Rapture. Or do you have it terminate at Toontown and go from there? Both would work. It really depends on how much Caprica and the Citadel really, really want to go to Toontown, because that's what's going to limit it. Right, okay, let's follow a train here. There you go, there's one. Might as well be Bumson. He's the hero of the revolution at the moment. Let's have a look at the money. Right, last year, 19.5 in, 9.95 out. Very close to 10 million in profit when you get rid of all of the ancillaries, which is basically me spending money like water. This year, at the moment, 13.3 in August. So we're on track for the same kind of level of money. And then running costs are 7 at the moment. So running costs will be a little bit more, but income should be on a level-ish peg. So we could end up the same way. Let's dump everything I've got into the loan for the moment. Right, what have we got here? 44 of 78. Now then, here comes the real trick, is what are we doing in terms of line financial balance? This is the Gen 2, is currently losing money, but it's only recently been established. My concern is that it takes too long. So this is less in the calculated state of, oh, you've got to get everything going as quickly as possible. No, it's not that. It's more that the actual physical travel time between each station is a little on the long side for a train only capable of 60. Anyway, we're about to pop into profit now. There you go. Where do you end up? Gen 2. No, well, I didn't hope that it would be in the top. Where are we? 45,000 up. And it's going to go higher than that because we're only running 2/3 full. So it's all looking pretty good. The rate's pretty strong as well, so that's decent. Top of the tree, shipping the food is the king of the mountain. Shipping the oil could be higher, but actually it probably won't be higher because I'm not running goods in both directions on that one. So that's always going to be a little bit less performing. It's nice to see the airline is doing well, and that we've got a tram in the top list. That's good. Yeah, we've got a bit of everything going on in the top list, and that really makes a change. And I think it's because this map is more challenging than anything I've done previously. Right, that's it. That's your lot. We're done here for today. I've been Colonel Failure. Next time around, well, it's more rampant spending. It's a question of where is the most astute place to spend in such a rampant, flagrant fashion. So if you want to join in for some more flagrants, I invite you to do so. I'll be back next time. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on it. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. All right then. Okay, so, well, built a bridge again. That's that dealt with. But more importantly, we've got that route running. And I'm pretty certain that, once it kind of gestates a little and gets up to speed, that's a 500,000+ earner per year. and then that will enable me to buy another train and sling that on there as well. But it is going to be a case of hooking together all of these major kind of component pieces now in order to make a network that can be strengthened. Because every time I put this kind of two towns together, it affords the opportunity to then take the next step onwards. Now, the safer route may actually be to put together another goods ferry. That could work, but I think I'll hold off on that for now because I really want to try and lock in some strong passenger routes. So that's what's coming up next. Yes.